And now I'm going to continue with the second part of shreds protocol, going from the knee to the thigh. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to assess the knee. And what I'm feeling for is movement, either lateral to medial and in extension, or medial to lateral. And what I find here is that it moves from lateral to medial, so if I get you to turn on your stomach, and I'm going to adjust this with the prone adjustment technique. So I found it lateral to medial, so that means that it's a medial condyle, so I'm going to go lateral to medial on the tissue pull. I'm going to take it above 90 degrees. I'm going to adjust. Now I can get you flip back over and I'm going to reassess. And back in extension. Now I don't feel any movement, so now I'm going to check for an anterior femur moving up into the thigh. So if I get you to raise your leg up, I need you to push to the sky and resist me. That's a grade 5 or less. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and perform the correct adjustment for this, which is going to be the posterior glide movement. So I'm going to move the knee up. I'm going to feel for the resistance. And when I feel that resistance, I'm just going to use a diversified quick thrust through it. And now I'm going to reassess. And I find that to be grade 5. So moving down to the talus, I can move on now. It mostly subluxates, mostly anterior, slightly lateral. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust it in the correct way. I'm going to perform one other if I can get you to lay over. It should be an alternate route I could use with the talus, which is going to be by an adjustment, flick adjustment. So now I'm going to go to the big toe if I can get you to scoot back over. And with the big toe, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it on the interphalangeal joint right above it. I'm going to adjust this way. If I had a bunion, then I would adjust it just the slip-off method. And I'm going to assess this patella. I'm going to assess an inferior direction, superior direction, lateral, and medial. And I find it to be a little bit of a subluxation to the medial side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to thrust medially. Now I get proper movement in all directions. So that's good. I'm going to do the TFL test. Check his hip and rotation internally and externally. So if I can get you to push against me. And the TFL goes weak, grade 5 or less, so I'm going to check in internal rotation first. Excuse me, external rotation first. So that's external. This would be internal. And I find that to be a little bit of resistance, so I'm going to thrust in A to P direction. Excuse me, P to A direction. Now I'm going to reassess this again. And get a little bit more of a grade 5 there. So now I'm going to adjust the knee with the wrist extension this time, so I'm going to check first again. And this time I get movement a little bit medial to lateral, so it gives me a lateral condyle. It could be a posterior tibia also by moving in both directions, so I can get you to turn over for me. Now with my non-dominant hand, it's going to be the pressure hand, 50 to 70 pounds of pressure on the lateral condyle since I move medial to lateral. So I'm going to get up here. 10 to 15 with the speed hand. I'm going to do the wrist extension technique. I'm going to reassess. I'm going to get you to roll back over. I reassess to see if I've established no movement, which I do get there, which is good. So now I'm going to test the anterior femur once again. Still find that to be a little bit less than grade 5, so I'm going to go to the ASIS. I'm going to go halfway down the thigh. And with my non-dominant hand, it's going to be 10 to 15 pounds of pressure. With my speed hand, it's 10 to 15. Same wrist extension technique. So now we're going to assess again. Grade 5. Now I'm going to move to the shoulder, and I can also use a wrist extension technique here by just checking for an anterior humerus. I'll push against. Find that to be grade 5 or less, so I'm going to get on here. 10 to 15 with the non-dominant hand, 10 to 15 with the speed hand. Adjust the shoulder, we reassess, and we got a grade 5. And that is it with shreds protocol, lower extremity. Thank you.